Hello everyone, this is ex-Bethelite here, and I'm in Brooklyn, or I'm sorry, I'm in Manhattan, and you guys that are familiar with Manhattan, let me know if you know what these things are that we're looking at. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about going undercover, actually going undercover in a Kingdom Hall. Now, the purpose in doing this is to be able to talk to people who are indoctrinated without them having their guard up. So, for example, you may go up to a assembly and you may have some signs and you may protest at that assembly. However, generally, the witnesses that are there are going to have their guard up. And they're going to be trying not to listen to anything that you say. You may be a relative of someone who is a witness, and you may try to, talk to them in a manner to where you could wake them up. Now, oftentimes, if you were previously a witness, they're not going to listen to you. And many times, if you're a relative who opposes the religion, they are also not going to listen to you. So you have a limited number of options in order to really get through to people who are kind of programmed to only listen to certain sources of information. Now, one little chink in the armor there is the whole concept of studying with other people, the whole concept of bringing other people into the religion, into the cult. Now, when they do that, they have to open themselves up to some degree. They have to be willing to talk to people for the purpose of bringing them into the religion. And I think that is a great time to give them the truth about the truth. Now, you want to do it in a sly type of a way. You are undercover. You don't want to blow your cover. If you go undercover for the purpose of distributing information that you could not distribute otherwise, you could not distribute it in a way in which people would listen otherwise, then you want to be sure you don't break your cover. So what I did is I went into a Kingdom Hall, one within walking distance of where I was staying, and pretended not to know anything. Now, what's going to happen is the people there who are all trained to want to indoctrinate others are going to jump at the opportunity. I mean, they are going to jump at the opportunity to be able to start some kind of a discussion, start some kind of a Bible study. They're going to love bomb you. They're going to be far friendlier than average. Now, the problem for them is that when they love bomb, this is something that's designed to bring people in. But if you're undercover and someone love bombs you, meaning they're far more open to you than they normally would be, the shields are down, and it is the perfect time to give them the truth about the truth. And I experienced that to be the case. I go in and I ask, well, why is this called a Kingdom Hall? Almost every other religious structure in Christianity is all called a church. And a church just means an assembly of people. And they say, well, and they think about it. Well, just go to jw.org. And then another one comes up and says, well, it's because we talk about God's kingdom. That's what sets us apart, as we talk about and focus on God's kingdom. And I told them, well, every church that I've been to, which is true, also talks about the kingdom of God. This is a concept that's in the Bible. This is not a concept that's unique to Jehovah's Witnesses. So I sit through the meeting, and a particular brother that wants to study with me is asking for my phone number and everything, asking for all kinds of information. Now, to the average person, that would be very intrusive. However, they're so focused on starting a Bible study, they're not thinking about, you know, what is normal, what is abnormal. So he gets my information, he gets my phone number. I go and I sit down. And of course, I don't have any books or anything. And something that I didn't think of that may be important is don't bring a tablet. If you bring a tablet your first time going undercover, they're going to think, well, how did you know to bring a tablet to the Kingdom Hall? So I sit down without any watchtower and Awake magazine, and a brother next to me, he says, you know, you can get the article that we're discussing on jw.org. And he virtually takes my phone from me. He has his phone, my phone is in his hand. He virtually takes my phone from me and starts going online to find jw.org. Now his wife is sitting next to him and he's having a problem finding jw.org on my phone. So let's try to figure out how to get out of here. So he hands my phone to his wife, and I'm thinking, number one, I never really gave you permission to take my phone out of my hand. Number two, I didn't give you permission to start handing it to random people. Not that it's random to him, it's his wife, but to hand my phone to someone else in order for her to find jw.org. So I'm standing there looking at this person who would be a stranger to anyone outside of that organization. All this stuff that they're doing would be strange to anyone else. So after they get done trying to find jw.org and download every publication in the library onto my phone, I do something else that you probably shouldn't do when you're undercover, and that is comment. Now, the brother I'm sitting next to, you know, I asked him, hey, is it okay for everyone to comment? Do you have to be a member to do that? And keep in mind, he still thinks I've never been there before. So I tell him, I like you guys' discussion. I want to participate. Do I have to be a member? He said, no, you don't have to be a member. But I guarantee you, this is what he told me. He said, you have to say what is in the paragraph. Each paragraph has got a question and scriptures attached. You have to say what is in the paragraph. And I'm thinking, wow. you actually have to stick to, and he's admitting that you can't, it's not a really open discussion. It's not an open discussion. It's just repeat what's in the watchtower. So I raise my hand. I don't have a watchtower in my hand. I'm not even looking at the stuff that they downloaded on my phone. And I comment on the question, because the questions generally are extremely elementary. So the whole thing goes well. However, this is another thing that you want to keep in mind if you go undercover, and that is, if you do it in the territory that you're in, people are going to live pretty close to you. They're going to see your daily activities normally, and that could be something that you don't want, because that could definitely blow your cover. Let's see what's in here. And that is exactly what I did. I went to one in which I could walk back and forth to it. On my way back to Gerard's house, I noticed that there were other people walking in the same direction. As a matter of fact, there were other people driving in the same direction as I got back. Now, with the Jehovah's Witnesses, with any cult, the prime, and I mean prime, goal is to get more people in. It is to get more people in. So if you're new and you walk in, believe me, everyone in that entire Kingdom Hall saw you and noticed you. So I'm walking back to his house, and people are driving by in their cars. One guy stopped his car. He stopped his car and called me over and told me that he lived there, which was a block away from where Gerard lived, and his son lived even closer. And then he asked, where do I live? So I pointed in the direction in which I lived, and he looked pretty concerned, because of course they all know who Gerard is. And the following meeting, keep in mind, this whole time I'm dropping hints. I'm making people think. I'm asking them questions that they ordinarily would not ever think to look into. And it's working. It's working. If I ask them to research something for me, they will do it. In order for them to love bomb you, which is what they will do if you go undercover to a hall in which people don't know you, in order for them to love bomb you, they have to drop their guard. They have to. So their guard is totally down, and as long as you don't blow your cover, don't go straight up to them and say something that will obviously blow your cover. But as long as you don't blow your cover, it works. Going undercover into a hall, it works. It's painful sitting through the meeting, because even though they have televisions inside the halls now, and they watch little short videos, or during the watchtower study, they'll have pictures that are in the watchtower flashing on the little TVs. It's still just as boring as it has ever been. So that's going to be something that you're going to have to put up with if you want to go undercover, or you can still do the exact same thing and do what I did. Just show up for the watchtower. Pretend you didn't know about the public talk. And in that way, you don't have to sit through a 2-hour ordeal. So what happens next is very interesting. I go to the next meeting, and there are Bethelites there. And these are Bethelites that have been sent away from Bethel. And I start questioning them. I start asking them questions about their future. You haven't been putting into retirement for the many years that you've been a volunteer. What are you going to do to kind of equal that out. And, I was also asking, why weren't you given anything other than enough for food and clothing? Keep in mind, the guy who was a Bethelite, he walked up to me and said, I know you from somewhere. And as soon as he says, I know you from somewhere, I'm like, oh my whole cover is blown. But he was from Brooklyn. I was, Brooklyn Bethel. I was from Wallkill Bethel. And he knew me. We knew each other, but we knew each other kind of in passing, not extremely well. So he didn't fully put his finger on who I was. Now, something strange happened after the meeting where one of the elders asked me, he said, hey, do you have a second? I said, sure. So he says, come here, I want to talk to you for a quick second. So I follow him, and we end up in the library, in the Kingdom Hall. And another elder comes in behind him. Now, as soon as the other elder came in, and I'm in the Kingdom Hall library with two elders, I knew at that point somehow my cover had been blown. So he comes in and he says, so you don't know very much about Jehovah's Witnesses. Well, what's this? And then he immediately goes to my Facebook page, and I've got all kinds of questions about Jehovah's Witnesses on there. And he says, according to this, you're an ex-Bethelite. And so, okay, the cover is blown, and the two elders and myself pretty much have it out in a calm way. It was a calm but emotionally charged, I think more so emotionally charged for them than for me, discussion. Now, one elder had been out in the streets. He had been involved with things that caused him to end up being shot at some point. And it was the typical story of a person that goes from a really, really, really bad situation to one in which he thinks that a religion saved him, whereas anything would have been better than where he was. That's a typical situation. The other elder, his eyes looked a little bit noticeably red. It could have been because he was tired. Yeah, it could have been because, we're discussing things that are emotionally charged. We talked about the blood issue. And one of the elders said that this is the channel. He said that there's always been a channel. He went from Abraham, and then he went to Jesus' time, and I stood there and I waited for him to find a connection to the Watchtower organization, in which he couldn't. And then I told him, I said, every channel is connected to a source, directly connected to a source. If you're looking at channel 45, it's directly linked to that station. If you're watching channel 22, it's directly linked to that station. You'll be able to find a direct link to whatever it is that you're a channel of. And then he turned around and said, I did not say that. I did not say that we were Jehovah's channel. And I know he said it, and we know why he said it, because that is teaching. That's literally the organization's teaching on the matter. So I told them, I said, you looked at my Facebook, you read the contents, you read the questions I put up on my Facebook, and I'm Marcus Vaughn on Facebook. And I said, show me where I'm wrong. Find any of those articles where you can show me where I was wrong. And they said, you know what? This is one of them. He said, you know what, brother? I'm going to tell you what I think you want to hear. Then he pats me on my shoulder and says, you're right. he pat me on my shoulder and said, "You're right." Then he looks at the other elder and says, "Let's go." So we leave. And of course, by the time we leave, everyone else is gone. We'd been in the library for quite some time. And I find out this is how he figured out who I was. When I gave him my phone number in order for him to contact me, he put my phone number in on Facebook. And when he put my phone number in on Facebook, it went directly to my page. So anytime you go undercover, be careful about giving your phone number. Because if you give them your phone number, they can look you up on Facebook. Now, of course, the question is, if this isn't a cult, if this is something that's normal, why exactly would you search for someone on Facebook? You see what I mean? It's not normal for someone to see somebody that is new into a church and immediately search them on Facebook. That's very abnormal. So at the end of the discussion, they did not find any, they talked about where they disagreed, but when I asked them, hey, show me one place where I'm wrong, they didn't. And one of the elders judged me and said, hey, the only reason you're here is for the sole purpose of taking pictures, getting some of our publications and putting them online. And of course, that doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense at all, because the publications are on jw.org. So there would be no reason for me to do that. The purpose in me being there is because I cared about people. And I wanted to do what I could to try to wake them up. So you guys, let me know what you think about that. Let me know if you think that there is any other better way, or a way just as effective, and telling Jehovah's Witnesses the truth about their organization, other than going undercover in that manner. So the next time I do it, which I'm going to do it again, that hall was more of a practice hall. Now I'm going to go somewhere that is obviously further away. I'm going to go somewhere further away so that everyone does not know who I am from the first try. And I'm not going to give my phone number, and I'm not going to bring a tablet my first time going. And I think that I will be much more experienced in what I'm doing. So again, you guys, let me know what has worked for you. If there's a better way of doing the undercover work, let me know what you think. And you can contact me via phone at 937-607-5085, or on Facebook if my phone isn't on or something like that. You can use Facebook. And this is ex-Bethelite signing out.